A new client came to us last month. They had over 3,000 unreconciled transactions and no clue where to start. Their accounts were a mess, full of duplicated expenses and missed sales. Within a few days, using Xero's Bank Reconciliation tools, we helped them to clean up their books and automate the process moving forward. In this video, I'll walk you through everything you need to know about Xero Bank Reconciliation in Malaysia, including benefits, automated matching, error handling, and reconciliation rules. Why bank reconciliation matters for Malaysians. Whether you are using CIMB, Maybank, Public Bank, OCBC, or UOB, reconciling your bank accounts in Xero ensures that your accounting records reflect your actual cash flow. It is also your first defense against fraud, double entries, and late SST reporting. Please check on the link below in description about Xero Bank available in Malaysia for more information. For now, let's kickstart with the sharing of today's topic.
In this section, we will talk about setting up the benefits in Xero. So let's start by talking about importing your bank transactions into Xero. So you are choosing between either you set up the direct benefit. Currently, the official benefit in Malaysia is the CIMB Biz Channel, the paid version, and also RHB Premium Reflex. And other official bank feed, it will be available to be set up via the third-party connection called Yodlee. The other way is for you to import the bank statement manually using the CSV file. So in terms of the bank feed, you will be able to click on the bank feed under the button here. For those that are not available, like for example OCBC, UOB Bank, so on and so forth, you need to import the bank statement manually. So you can click on the description below to find the link that we explain about what are the direct bank feed that are available in Malaysia, as well as how to import the bank statement manually. So the tip for you guys is not all Malaysian banks support direct feeds. We often recommend preparing a CSV template for upload if your bank isn't supported. So next thing we're going to talk about is to understand the reconciliation screen. So once the bank transactions are in Xero, the magic happens on the reconcile screen, which you'll be able to see how many items you need to reconcile. So in the home page, you can click on this reconcile. And here, if we draw the line in the middle, so you can see on the left is the bank transactions that either it fit into Xero using the bank feed, or you manually import it into Xero. On the right side is all the transactions that you have entered into Xero. If you're able to see things are in green color, means Xero found a match. And if it's normal white color like this, so it means that you need a manual action. So 4 key things that you need to know about this bank reconciliation feature. For the first is actually match. So if Xero is really found a match for you, it will show something like this. So if you actually confirm this bank transaction on the left versus the transaction that entered in Xero on the right is confirmed, you can just click on OK. This is one of the very easy way to reconcile your transaction. For the second way, sometimes you might want to reconcile one bank transactions with multiple transactions. So in this case, you actually can still click on match and then you select the multiple items. So once it's selected, if the total amount that you selected here is equal to 2,000, Xero will become green color here as well. But for now, this situation that it is not tally, that's why you couldn't match it. The third way, sometimes you might want to contra against, let's say, the money received. You need to knock off against all the sales invoices. At the same time, you want to contra off some bill. In Xero, they actually have one option called Show Spend Money. If you can click on it, so it will show all the bills that you created within Xero as well. So after you selected, then you can reconcile both sales invoices and bill at the same time. So that's all about the match feature. Secondly, it's about create the transaction. So under create, if typically you have just like one line transaction, you can just enter the contact name. You can enter the deposit, for example. You can put like deposit advance as a description. And please remember, this will appear under your general ledger description. You also can select the tracking category if you want to, and of course the tax rate. So once you're done, you can click on OK. Xero will create the debit credit entries for you right away. The other scenario is in one transaction is split into multiple lines in a transaction. This is where you can click on add details on the right bottom here on the specific transaction, and you can start creating the details. For example, in this case, you can break down into, let's say, total of 2,000 that you receive. So 1,005 will be your deposit, and the rest of it is actually you can put as other income. Let's say with a tax exempt first for this situation. And if you want to select the tracking category, you also can select here. So this is another way that you can create multiple line items within one bank transactions. And on top of it, the best thing about Xero is if you want to attach an attachment, you can click on here and upload the PDF file or picture that you wanted to, so that it can be your own reference in the future. So once you're done, you just click on Save Transactions. You can see is total match now. Once you click on Reconcile, you are just completed reconcile one transaction. The third one is actually transfer. This is a very direct method that transfer between internal bank accounts based on what you have set up in Xero. So you can see here, this is my business bank account, and I have the other two accounts called business savings account and Maybank Berhad. So for here, you can see you can select either of it. Then you can just click on the reference and click on OK. Then you will create a transactions from here to the other bank account. So let's say if I click on OK, you can see the transaction has just reconciled with that. The last thing about this bank reconciliation page is that what I love the most as well is this Discuss tab. So you can see typically how I use it is, let's say my name is Alfred Ang, I'll put AA in front. So I'll talk about the things I want to say. So let's say I'm actually collaborating with my colleague and I actually wanted to inform him or her that there's something that I'm stuck. That's why I couldn't reconcile the transactions right. You actually can put in the wordings here. After that, you can click on Save. So whoever that actually log into this page, they'll be able to see what has been updated. These are the 4 key things I want to share with you. The next section I want to share with you is actually using the bank rule to automate some repetitive entries. The regular items that we do is actually bank charges. For example, this Richway Banking Corporation. So this is a bank charges that the bank will charge us every month or per transaction basis. What you could do, let's say you want to create a bank rule for this, you can click on the option and then create a bank rule. After that, you are able to set the rule, whether it's a spend money rule, or receive money rule, or transfer money rule. So you can select like how it works in your bank rule. Is it any conditions matches below, or all conditions matches below? And then you can set your own conditions, let's say payee, the field that available in Xero equals to what? Description equals to what? An amount equals to what kind of amount it is. Then you can automatically set the contact to this Richway Bank as a contact in your Xero. And then if it's like 100% like one line item, you can put in the bank charges here as a description, key in the account code and the tax rate and the tracking category if you want to. And other than that, you can ensure you can set a reference during the bank recon or some other statement details. And you also can add these rules on to which bank account. And lastly, you could name this rule. So once it's done, you can just click on Save. So after you have saved, if you scroll down, you can see here, this is the bank rule that Xero automatically applied for you based on what you have set. So in the future, you just need to click on OK in order to reconcile. So that's how it helps you to reduce the 70% of your manual work if you use this correctly. So please remember that you can even split the transactions between categories. And let's talk about the last section, the tips for review and reporting. So once your reconciliation is done, I will recommend you to always review your bank transactions using this Bank Reconciliation Report. So on top of here, you actually can click on this Bank Reconciliation Report. You can select the date range, select the which account, and you can just click on update if there's any changes. So if you scroll down, I just want to explain to you this balance is zero is very important. It must always match with your bank statement. If it doesn't, means there are two possible errors. One is the direct bank feed failed. Secondly is when you import the transactions manually, it went wrong. So let's talk about the breakdowns of these few items that you need to understand under this bank account reconciliation report. So these outstanding payments means the payments that you created within Xero, but it wasn't reconciled yet. So this is where you are able to identify the duplicate entries or wrong transactions being entered. So if you confirm things that, let's say this Tan Leng Lui, this transaction is wrong, at least you can right click and open a new tab. You can go back to specific transactions and this confirm is unreconciled because you added it accidentally. You can anytime click on this option and remove and redo. That's how you ensure your bank transactions is correct. So once it's done, you can scroll up and click on update again. You can see that payment to Tan Leng Lui is already went missing. So this is how you manage your outstanding payments and also whatever that you have entered as money received and it was always stuck in an outstanding receipts if it wasn't reconciled. Lastly, unreconciled statement lines. If your bank reconciliations is always left, there are items that say unreconciled, it always stays here as the listing, and that's where you need to make sure whatever that you have entered is zero, it tallies to your bank statements.
3 common mistakes to avoid. First, clicking OK blindly on suggestions. Second, ignoring the uncoded transactions. And third, uploading wrong CSV format, either wrong date or amount columns. To fix this, always double check the transaction detail before reconciling. 7 best practices summary for you. First, use the bank feed if possible or clean CSV templates. Reconcile twice a week, minimum once a week. Use the bank rules for automation. Regularly review uncoded and unmatched items. Use reports to verify before SST submission. Train your team on what not to match. And proactively identify transactions that missing through direct bank feed. If you need help cleaning up your bank reconciliation or training your team to do it right, contact us at Caltrix. We help Malaysian businesses to streamline their Xero processes from reconciliation to reporting. That's all for today and see you in the next video.